Let's take a look at the basic tools we're going to be using for wax carving. So you don't need a lot of tools to make wax carved jewellery, which is one of the things I love about it, and it's really easy to get set up at home. Some things that I do use, so files are really handy, especially this coarse double-sided file. You can get these online at hardware stores, Amazon, those kind of places, and it's quite rough, so it's perfect for being able to get big chunks of wax off at a time. So this is definitely one of my favorite starter kit tools in a wax carving kit. You're also going to need to be able to saw the wax, so a jeweller's piercing saw. This is a beautiful green lion one, but you don't have to have a fancy one. Any jeweller's piercing saw is fine, and a blade in there. Some people will use wax saw blades, which are twisted, which work well, but I just use my regular blade when I'm working with wax because I find that that works really well for me. So a jeweller's piercing saw and a saw blade. Then we're going to need something, if we're working in rings, to remove the inside of the ring. So this is called a wax reamer, and it's got a blade along the side, and it's going to help remove the inside of the wax as we're creating our rings. Now, if you can't get hold of one of these, another option is to use the curved side of your file to be able to just go around the ring on the inside and sort of take it out, but it does take a bit of time, so there's some options there. Also, I like to have a couple of needle files, usually a couple of different shapes and sizes. These, I try and keep them just for wax if I can, because they do get a bit clogged up, although you can clean them out with a wax file brush. These are good for once we've done the initial stages of wax and filing. With the coarse file, we then move on to something a little bit softer and gentler. And also I sometimes use, it's not essential, but a less coarse file. So this is a cut 2 for refining, but a larger one just in case I need it. So a selection of files is super useful. Then I like to have a scribe, which is just a pointy ended tool. So there's all different types of scribes you can get. This is a lovely Wolf Tools one, which is great, but you can also use any type of jewelry making scribe to be able to scribe into your designs. And also a scalpel or a craft knife of some sort. So I use this one, which is number 3 of the Wolf Tools. But again, you could use a craft knife or a scalpel that you could get anywhere online. For me, I always need optivisors for jewelry making, and these are the ones that I use, and this is just to help me see the details in my piece. And I use number 5 for most of the work that I do in terms of the magnification, but you might have great eyesight and be able to get away without these, or you might need a different kind of magnification level. I think that these are 2.5 times, so it's a good level of magnification to work at. Finally, not essential, but for some of my pieces I like to finish with a bit of a flame over the piece, so I will need a soldering brick and a hand torch. So these can be useful. These are super useful for jewelry making anyway, if you're doing soldering, things like that after your pieces have come back from the casters. So a useful selection to have. And also a heat pen. So I've got another video where I'm going to talk through different types of heat pens, but the general one that everyone starts with is one like this. This is called a Max Wax heat pen, and you just push the button to heat it up, and you can create little granules and details in your wax. Also great for fixing any wax pieces that you might have broken, so a good kind of starter toolkit. Finally, you will need a bench peg or something to work on. So I'm sat at a jeweller's bench right now, which is perfect because it has a peg in, but if you are new to jewelry making, you can order a bench peg online. They're not super expensive, and you just clamp it and attach it to any table. They go on and off really easily. So that is our basic toolkit to get us started with wax carving. As you can see, there's not a huge amount that we need, and some of them are optional. So I hope it's been helpful. And if you have any questions or need any support with your wax carving, do come and ask us over at Jewellers Academy. And I look forward to seeing you on another video very soon.